What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day, and once again, another great day in the VIP, guys. I got this video out a little bit later than I wanted to, but it was because I was watching this game right here, and I took this guy under 17, and he ends up getting 16 kills, and I know a lot of you guys took this on the VIP because I had a lot of tails on my winnable for this one here, so hopefully you guys did tail this. I sent this out yesterday, like prime time, I think like 7 p.m. or something, so all of you guys should have got this in, and this is an amazing 5.25x that we just cashed here, and we also cashed a 4.5x as well. Now with this play, this guy definitely should have went over. He didn't. He pushes at 14, so I'm not going to complain about that. But of course, you know, I would have liked to get the full 9x or whatever we would have got for this. But you know, I would say he was likely to go over for sure. But he didn't, and he gets 14. That's completely fine. It will take the 4.5x. So we could have definitely had a much bigger day. But again, we will take this, and this is a profitable day, right? We go up probably like 5 to 6 units, something like that. Again, is it amazing? Like, is it like a 20 unit, you know, incredible day like some of these other days that I'm going to show you guys? Like, no, it's not, but this is a solid day, right? This is just a, you know, a base hit or a double, you know, in baseball where, you know, we'll take it, right? And we'll move on to the next day, and we'll take our money and move on to the next day, right? So we also have a ton of setups. So this is a setup here happening in the next couple of minutes. This is a setup here as well happening in the next couple of hours. And I want to go over this play here because in soccer is so extremely correlated, guys. I take these guys under together, and because they had less possession than maybe PrizePicks or Vegas or whatever you want to say thought that they would, and I thought this was a super easy call, I took them under together. And how soccer works, right? I'm sure we've all watched a soccer game, is that if you have less possession, you're not going to have as many passes. So these guys had less possession and they didn't have as many passes. Now, if you compare this to this pick right here that we have a setup for in the VIP, this guy had 130 passes, all right? And I don't know this team's possession. I didn't actually check, but you can tell that this team had the ball most of the game. I mean, to have 130 passes in a 90-minute game is absolutely insane. That's like almost 1.5 passes per minute throughout the entire game. And then obviously his teammate that was right next to him in the formation is going to get a lot of those passes. So I can tell you right now that this guy probably passed to this specific player. And again, there's 11 people on a team, but he probably passed to this specific player 30 plus times, right? So 30 plus times when he's passing the ball, he's literally passing to the player that we bet on. And again, you can see how these guys are so correlated. You know, when this guy passes, there's a very high chance that he's literally passing to the other guy we bet on. So these guys' lines move together, okay? Now, in League of Legends, I made a full 25-minute video about 2 to 3 days ago, and I highly recommend you go watch that video. I go over everything League of Legends. I pretty much dump my brain out. There's so much value in that video, and I recommend you go watch that video. So I'm not going to go over League of Legends too much just because I would point you to this video, especially because it's like what I am doing to this day in May of 2026 and how I think about League of Legends, how correlated it is. But League of Legends is also extremely correlated, right? So just as I talked about with soccer or that I talk about with football all the time, these esports are also super correlated, right? And I'm sure everyone's watched a soccer game and you're like, yeah, I understand that, right? When someone passes, they're going to have a guy that they pass to. And if the team it has a lot of possession, they're going to pass a lot. I kid you not, when you watch 10 minutes of these esports, like just take 30 minutes out of your day one day and just be like, you know what, I'm going to watch a League of Legends, you know, a couple of, like maybe a game or 10 minutes of it. I'm going to watch Counter-Strike a couple of minutes of it. I'm going to watch Valorant. After that 30 minutes, if you watch 10 minutes of all these esports I talk about, you will understand it the way you understand soccer. And it'll click in your mind and you'll be like, you know what? That's so obvious. When they win the game, they're going to have more kills. When they lose the game, they're going to have less kills, right? So in League of Legends, that's what happens there. And these guys go under together. And, you know, actually what I want to talk about too next, and this is probably the last thing that I go over just because there's a lot to go over here. But with Viper, we took Viper under and he gets 17 kills, right? And this looks really bad. And, you know, whatever, we lost the play, right? I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. You guys know that, right? We took Davis Martin over. He absolutely crushes it. We took Viper under. And what I talked about with Viper is that I thought he had about a 40% chance to 2-0 his opponent, okay? So they do end up 2-0ing their opponent, all right? So they had a 40% chance. That's what I estimated. That's what Bovada estimated at as well. I thought they had about a 40% chance to 2-0 their opponent. They are a really good team. I got to give them that. And you'll see they 2-0 their opponent. So it was 27-15 in the first game. You'll see that Viper gets 8 kills because his team completely dominated. They won the game, and they had almost double the amount of kills as the other team did. And you'll see game 2, same thing. They had double the amount of kills kills as the other team did, and Viper has 9 kills. So because his team won both games, he goes over and they have a ton of kills. Now, if you look at the other team, the team that lost, you'll see that this guy gets 0, this guy gets 1, this guy gets 3, this guy gets 3, right? If you look over here, same sort of thing, 4, 3, 2, 4. So was it the worst game ever from this team on the right? Not really, but they lost the game. So a lot of their guys did go under because they lost the game, all right? That is how League of Legends works. I really want to emphasize that this would actually be more concerning if we hit this play and they 2-0'd their opponent. The reason why the strategy works is because it hinges off the fact that if you win your games, you're gonna go over, all right? So, you know, one thing about it, guys, is you have to understand that some of these losses are okay, right? We took a chance. We said there's probably a 60% chance that they'd either lose both games or go 1-1. That didn't happen. So this guy goes way over. And this is what we want to see. We want to see these guys go over when they win, or the strategy just simply wouldn't work, all right? So that's that there. This was the other play that I gave out yesterday with Hitso over 8 kills. He does get 8 kills. Now, what's funny about this is this guy's team 1-1s their opponent. And I talked about this yesterday, that Bovada had them at minus 500 to 2-0 their opponent. Minus 500. That's not coming from me. That's coming from legitimately Bovada, that they were minus 500 to go ahead and win both games, and they didn't even do that. So they didn't hit a minus 500. Now this guy pushes at 8. I put in the comments, because I believe this guy did bump to 8.5, that I also like the top laner at 6, and he pushes at 6 as well. So the jungler pushes at 8, the top laner pushes at 6. So maybe you guys got this in, maybe you guys missed by 0.5, and that's kind of tough. I will say better, which is cool, they do actually pay you like a little bit of money for pushing, right? And I believe PrizePicks would just DMP this or something. But yeah, this is how it is. And yeah, there's some other things I could go over, but I'm not going to. You guys know that we are super profitable. We are up 117, 118, maybe even more than that, and we'll probably, if we hit some of these setups, we'll be even more than that by the end of the day. But we're up 118 units so far this year. My goal for the middle of the year, so June, the end of June, which is coming up in like 45-ish days, my goal for the end of June is 200 units, all right? So in 45 days, we got to go up about 2-ish units a day, something like that. On average, we on average go up about 1 to 1.5 units a day, all right? And with our strategy, with soccer, all the soccer that's happening, the World Cup is starting in the next 30-ish days and stuff like that. There's going to be a ton to bet on. So my goal by the middle of the year is 200 units. We'll see how we do. And then by the end of the year, I want to be up 500 units, all right? Because the end of the year is super, super strong finish because of football starting in the fall. Fall, winter, football. That is incredible to bet on as well. You'll see that every app that I talk about, guys, we're extremely profitable on. Sleeper and Better are amazing because you can take the discounts every day. Between these two apps, they have about 6 discounts a day. All right. So if you love Taco Tuesday, and I get a lot of texts from people, they're like, "Oh man, what's your taco play of the day? We need to hit this taco play." There's a Cade Cunningham discount out today that I'm not going to give out in this video, but I might give it out to the free plan. And it's like these apps have a double Taco Tuesday every single day. They give out 6 tacos a day pretty much. And you need to get these apps. It's probably the number one thing that I'd recommend to a newer sports bettor, or just someone who is just starting out, or just anyone. Honestly, you can make an extra $300 to $500 a month just betting on Sleeper and Better, right? And I have some videos talking about that as well. Giving out an SGA jersey too, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and you'll get entered to win that one additional raffle ticket into that entry. So let's get into the play of the day. And the first play of the day is going to be on Better, right? So we do have a Cade Cunningham discount also on Better. Now, it's not as good as the PrizePicks one. The PrizePicks one is like literally he needs to get 1 point. But I will say Better and Sleeper do give out these 1 point discounts all the time as well. But this is a good discount for Cade, right? 35.5. He's now discounted down to 32.5. These discounts, I always talk about it, but they always take players from being like 50-50 if they're going to go over or under to probably like 70-30 or 75-25. So this adds another 20 to 25% chance of him hitting this play, which is massive, all right? And then what we're going to take is we're going to take Berserker at under 9.5. Now, again, how this works in League of Legends, this is a League of Legends player, is that if this guy wins the games, he's probably going to go over, just like Viper did. This is honestly a very similar play to the Viper play that I gave out, right? So be warned about that. But again, this is how League of Legends works. So I am thinking that this game is going to go 1-1, all right? And I want to go over what I like about this player, right? So if we look at his stats, you'll see that sometimes he goes over, sometimes he goes under. They are favored to win, 66% to 34%, but FlyQuest is a good team, and FlyQuest does have a solid percent chance to win. And I think what's likely to happen is that Lion takes game 1 or game 2, and then FlyQuest takes the other game. So I think the game's going to go 1-1, right? Lion and FlyQuest both win a game and they go ahead and split. Now, what could also happen is Lion loses both games. And again, this is what I talk about in League of Legends. If you lose the game, this is him losing both of his games. He's likely to go under. This is him winning both of his games. He's likely to go over if he does win both games. I'll be very clear about that. This is how League of Legends works, okay? Now, if he just wins one game, then he's also, you'll see, likely to go under. There's times he gets 8, there's times he gets 9, but he doesn't have that final push to get, 11, 10, 11, 12 kills in some of these games. No, and sometimes he does do this, of course. That's going to happen in sports. You're going to outperform what you're supposed to do. But again, if this game goes 1-1, there's a high chance that he does go under, okay? So here's the possibilities. He either goes 0-2, he goes 2-0, where he wins both games, or he goes 1-1. Okay, and in my estimation here, I think that if he goes and he loses both games, this would be a hit. I think if he wins both games, it's probably going to miss, and then if he goes 1-1, this is probably going to be a hit. Okay, so these are the situations we need to happen, right? We need him to either lose both games or go 1-1. So this is what I really like about this right here. This is going to be the first play of the day. By the way, if you're liking what I'm talking about in my VIP, I do have a way to get in completely free, 2 months free of the VIP with Bovada. All you have to do is text me the word Bovada right here to my number on the screen. I'll get you guys to sign up and deposit 20 to 25 bucks into Bovada, and you'll get 2 free months of the VIP doing that. Now, with that being said, if the play hits that I'm going to give you tonight, it's in the WNBA. If the play hits, then great. If the play misses, then I'll Venmo or Cash App you back that 25 that you put in, right? So you'll see here's some Cash Apps and some Venmos that I paid people the other day when our Pistons money line hit in game 6. Missed in game 6. So if the play hits, great, you'll get that money and you'll still get 2 months of the VIP. If the play misses, you'll get paid back and you'll get 2 free months of the VIP as well, right? So this is completely risk-free with Bovada. And you need to not have a Bovada account yet, right? So it's going to be new users only. If you do already have Bovada, there's a ton of other apps you can sign up for, like Sleeper, like ONYX Odds, like REBET, like Better that we're going over today as well. Even Kalshi and Novig, guys. Kalshi, Polymarket, Novig. Polymarket, by the way, they changed their promo to where if you deposit 20 bucks, you now get a free $50. I got this from someone who works at Polymarket yesterday. It was literally a text that I got yesterday. So you deposit 20 and you get a free 50 bucks. So obviously, who doesn't like free money? You can sign up for Polymarket, and they do normally have like a wait list, something like that. And with my code Detective, you can skip that wait list. So they'll put you on a wait list for like months. But if you use this code, they'll actually put you on a wait list that's maybe like 24 hours. And then with my code, you will get into Polymarket, right? So they're kind of like slow rolling the release of Polymarket. I'm not really sure what their plan is, but Polymarket, I do have a code for it. You can get into Polymarket in the next like 12 to 24 hours. And yeah, you'll have Polymarket and you'll have that free 50 bucks with that $20 deposit right there, okay? Now, second pick of the day, all right? What's interesting about this play is that I'm actually taking a player on Lion to go under, like we did with Berserker, and then the second play, I'm actually taking a guy to go over on Berserker. Not on Berserker, on Lion, okay? The team Lion. So I'm going to go over this second. The first play I do want to go over is James Harden over 13.5 field goal attempts. I really like this play. You'll see pretty much every single game in this series, he has gone over or he's been very, very close to this line. Now, expect this to be an extremely close line, all right? You'll see a lot of times he's getting barely hitting this at 14, barely hitting this at 15, but I do really like this line, and I think because it's game 7, Harden's going to be shooting more, and they're just generally going to be playing these guys to the bone. They're going to be playing these guys almost all game. He might get an extra rotation. This could be a very, very close series and very close game to the end. It could even go to overtime, which would obviously be good for his over. And I really, really, really do like this line right now. You'll see head-to-head against the Pistons. He has played the Pistons quite a lot this season, right? He played them back in December. He played them back in January. He played them in May. And then obviously had a 6-game series. And you'll see the only times he has gone under this line is by 1-2 times, all right? And I think in those 2 times, no, he actually did play decent minutes that game. So he's playing very consistent minutes, guys. He's getting in the high 30s a lot of these games, and I do really like this line here, okay? So again, if we miss, expect to miss by 0.5 and it be a very tough beat, but I do like this just favored to the over, right? And I'm not going to lie to you and say that he's probably going to get 20. He probably will hit this at like 14 or 15, all right? But I do really like this line for James Harden right here. And then second, we're taking Saint over 7.5. And the best way I can explain this, guys, is that, first of all, I just think this line's too low for him. He's a very aggressive player, and he plays very aggressive champions, all right? And it's kind of hard, and it's kind of out of the scope of this video to talk about that. Again, I can go to that 25-minute video that I released a couple of videos ago here. But he plays more aggressive aggressive style champions, right? Akali is very aggressive. Ari is very aggressive. Some of these champions are very aggressive. These champions are actually not aggressive, Anivia and Hui. But Orianna, not so aggressive. Yone is very aggressive and he gets 9 kills. Akali, very aggressive. Ryze, very aggressive. And some of these champions he's playing, like Sylas and Ari and stuff, they're called assassins, all right? And if you think about it, assassins, what does that mean? They're kind of aggressive playstyle champions. So I like this guy for the over. And I will say it's very similar to what I talk about with Berserk. If they do end up winning both games, which is a possibility, look at what happens, right? He gets like 12, 13 kills. If they win one game, it's kind of 50-50, right? Sometimes getting 7, and we might barely miss this. And then if he does lose both games, then the under will probably hit, right? Just as I talked about with Berserker, but then Berserker's under will also hit, all right? So it's kind of a weird one because I'm taking one player on the same team to go over in one play, and then I'm taking a guy on the same team to go under in the other play. But I also do think, which is important to understand, Berserker's line is just a little bit too high, and Saint's line is just a little bit too low. I think Saint's line should be like 8.5, and I think Berserker's line should be like 9 to 8.5. And if that doesn't seem like a big difference to you, well, look at the play that we just hit today, right? If I can go to today, right? With BZM on Dota, he hit by 1, right? This guy over here in Counter-Strike, he pushed at 14, right? If we got this at 13.5, then we would have hit. If we got this at 14.5, then we would have missed, and we would have been sad. So these 0.5 differences, they really, really do matter in esports and honestly in all sports, right? So understand that as well. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. Again, if you do not have Bovada yet, the steps are right here in front of you. Text me, deposit 20 to 25. You'll get paid that back if that misses, and you'll get 2 free months of the VIP, which is huge. If you guys do not know, the past 2.5 years I've been doing this, we're up about 1,000 units. I'm looking to update this graph here because I think we're actually at the 1,000 unit mark over the past 2.5 years, which is crazy. Again, like and comment, subscribe if you hit some of these plays, and get entered to win this signed SGA jersey that I'm going to be giving away at the end of the month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.